Good evening. Today's July 21st, 2026. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting of the West Liberty City Council to order. Clerk, would you like to call the roll?
McFerren,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Shiltz.
Yes.
Okay, line item 2, approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve agenda?
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're gonna go with line item 3. Approval of the consent agenda. That includes the meeting minutes from the last meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, public hearing. We've got a public hearing on the property transfer from the City of West Liberty, Iowa to the West Liberty and Rural Township Fire and Rescue Agency. That would be 109 East 2nd Street in West Liberty, Iowa. Do I have
Motion to open public hearing.
second? Anybody say?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. We'll go ahead and open public hearing. Is that
It's a roll call.
roll call? Okay.
Martinez,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Shiltz.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. Do we have any public comments? Do we have anybody that is here to make a comment or online? Have you received any comments? Council? No.
No, madam.
Okay. All right, then, we'll go ahead and close public hearing.
Move to close public hearing.
There's a motion and second, all in, or
Shiltz,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
McFerren.
yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, line item 5 is reports.
You're gonna go to the resolution.
Oh, yes, sorry, nope, you're okay. We're going to go ahead and 3A, resolution 20260-721-368, a resolution authorizing the transfer of property from the City of West Liberty to the West Liberty Rural Township Fire and Rescue Agency at 109 East 2nd Street in West Liberty.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's motion and seconded. The clerk will call the roll.
Parizek,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Shiltz,
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. Line item 5, reports. Do we have anything from city engineer? We didn't see anything.
No, I put it in my report and I'll just give a brief update to it when we get to the.
Okay. Do we have any committees? Was it last one? Okay. Do we have fire meeting?
No.
No,
Is
okay.
there anyone?
Okay, so we'll move on to staff reports, city manager.
Yep, I just want to let you know I finalized my report and sent that to mayor and council. Just briefly, a few things. We've had some continued discussion with regards to infrastructure capital improvements that we identified in planning. We're currently working with the electric department so we can finalize that capital planning. In addition to that, we've continued to work with legal counsel on establishing an agreement with West Liberty Foods pertaining to the wastewater treatment plant and their portion of the infrastructure upgrade. Then anything that we've had in addition to that, just want to let you know the park staff, there had just been one report that came in to me by email with regards to the weeds at the cemetery. And I met with staff and they provided that due to at the end of June, we had our seasonal staff was on break. And then with the weather and the rain, it put them behind by a week. And so by the time they got everybody back on board in the first part of July, the weeding hadn't been done. And so they, as of July 15th, with the public works staff, they had it all weeded and completed. So it's just been a little challenging year given the weather and the rain, and so that was taken care of. So if you'd had received anything on that. Cobain Pullman accepted a new position, so he's resigned from the Parks and Rec Department. And I believe his last day is like August 2nd. So he's got an opportunity in a larger municipality. So we wish him luck and appreciate the time that he provided with us here. And we've got that position then posted, so. With regards to public safety items, last week we had a presentation with the Muscatine Police Department. Chief Keys and Captain Yurick were here. So that was part of my meetings and communications. Also, I've been working with the Sheriff's Department. In addition to that, I don't have any other updates with the EMS service, anything from the agency or transfers on that. And just some additional thank yous that we wanted to give a shout out to Officer Sela for handling the patrolling for the picnic in the park event and the parade event. In addition, Officer Perez and his family, they participated in the parade for representing the police department. Officer Jordan's here, and I'm sure he was on schedule or he was maybe getting some time off. Since they've been working a little slim staff. So in addition to that, we want to thank our EMS Chief Carlson and the EMS staff and the West Liberty Rural and EMS Association volunteers for their hours and their work at the Muscatine County Fairgrounds. And then unfortunately there was a pole fire that occurred and our electric department acted quickly with the fire department to get that taken care of and retain power back to the campground area there. So outside of that, we're continuing to work on the economic development items. You have some catalyst grant documents before you tonight that will get that project moving here. And other than that, I'll let you review my report, and then if you have any other questions, you can follow up with me.
Thank you, City Manager Geertz. City Clerk, did you have anything?
I do not have anything at this time.
We'll go ahead and move to line item 6, vendor voucher claims list, in the amount of $769,845.38.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion on it? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Public comments and correspondence. Okay. This is time set aside for comments from the public on topics of city business. No action may be taken, but we will go ahead and listen. We've allotted everybody, 2 minutes? So we'll go ahead and start. Is there any public comment?
Yes. Okay. So I just wanted to come here and I wanted to thank the city for everything it did behind the scenes for both the Muscatine County Fair Parade and Picnic in the Park. I know that when I come here and I request those events and all the things that need to get done, that there's 100 other things going on behind the scenes of the city that also occur. And I appreciate that that gets taken care of. I want to try and thank some of the crew. Adam Reinhardt and his crew and Mac House for being out there. They were cleaning streets, putting up barricades. They gave us trash cans. They provided the misting equipment along the fence for Picnic in the Park, as well as the support I got from the West Liberty Police Department was awesome. And a special thanks to the city administration, Geertz, Shari, and Brittany back here, I know that they make a lot of decisions and pull strings too to make it happen as well. So I'm grateful for the work that they put in. And then just a thank you to you, City Council, for approving it and letting us go ahead with it every year. It's a good time. And the fair parade and picnic in the park are truly a community event. So all of our volunteers, city, chamber, everyone comes together. And I think it was a great event this year, despite the heat. But I think we say despite the heat every year. So it was fun. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jacob, for your hard work and your leadership on that. I mean, it was a very well organized, timely communication, and additional work to beautify our community. So we can celebrate that day and celebrate our community as well. So
Yeah, thank you. The only thing we didn't have was sunscreen.
Well, we're gonna have to talk to Procter and Gamble and.
Thanks, Jacob, and the chief.
You guys get a count of how many businesses participate?
It's hard to get a count, like you're talking about for the fair parade. I honestly have no idea how you would count that. I mean there's hundreds and hundreds of people, so
This year was pretty long. I heard a lot of comments say it.
I-
The fair parade this year.
it seemed as though there were a lot. So I don't know what the number is, but I know that when I drive through it at the end to get over to the picnic, the streets were still full of people, so. And special thanks to our street sweepers who probably had to do a lot of work cleaning the candy up.
Well, the kids
so.
did a pretty good job of
Oh, did they?
getting
Okay.
All right, any other public comments? Anybody online? Okay, we'll go ahead and go around with council. Any public comments? We'll start with Omar.
There will be a food benefit for one of our constituents in town that had an accident going to vacation in Mexico this past June. So it will be at Flammos nightclub starting at 9 a.m. until food runs out. So we're gonna put that out for the community.
What day is that?
July 25th, Saturday.
Josh.
Continuing to work on some nuisance items with city manager Geertz, and I have been asked recently by a few residents around town of any updates on the pool. My last check-in with city manager Geertz was that we haven't received the full completed report back from the engineers. I don't know if you've heard since then if it'll be coming down, if it has come in yet, but
So I can answer your question real quick,
Yeah.
just to keep it in line with your information. I spoke with engineer Lenny Larson today. He received a draft report late last night. He went through it and identified that there was some information that was needed in addition that was provided. And so with that said, he believes we'll have it ready then by August 4th. To go through that, so
that would be.
I'll follow up with him and
Yeah.
what's that?
That'd be
yeah.
the next meeting. right?
Yeah, I'll follow up with him and see if possibly if council would like us to provide it as a work session at the second meeting in August. That way, if the public then would like to, hear that report provided prior to a council meeting, then we can identify that then.
It's a good idea.
And then, I did kind of pass on some of my own comments, city manager Geertz, as I do work downtown and I have noticed at the four-way stop is quite a number of just no one stopping at the stop sign there. And it's kind of terrifying when you're actually watching how fast people are going. So I have requested for staff to discuss putting the stop sign back out in the middle, especially on some decent weather days where it wouldn't get blown down, just as an added site for people to continue to get used to. And discussing that with other residents around town, there's other spots, I know down on 4th Street towards Wapsie, that four-way that gets ran a lot, or I don't think it's a four-way right there, but going into Wapsie down there. There's some stop signs down there. It just seems like they're all around town, and I continue to, ask, the community to remember that we have children playing and random animals out and about, and just to be safe and conscious and aware of your surroundings while driving. That's it.
Okay, thank you. I don't have anything to report, to add to it. Tim,
I have not received any public comment or correspondence either.
City Manager Geertz, anything?
Yep, we just received some correspondence from the Muscatine County Fair. And it looks like their board, it says, "Dearly and council members, thank you so much for your generous donation towards the new event center. We greatly appreciate your support. Your dedication to the fair is one of a kind. Through your time and your monetary gifts, we can't thank you enough. We are excited for the future of the fair as the excitement continues to build for the new event center. Thank you again, Muscatine County Fair Board."
Okay. All right, thank you. City Clerk, anything?
I don't have anything this time. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to 8,
which is new business. We've got discussion and appropriate action by council on the event assistance and street closure application from the West Liberty Farmers Market. First of all, is there any discussion?
As I was looking through this, I didn't see, and I'm wondering if anybody's available around. Maybe there's been discussion. I'm just curious of the why we're extending it. I mean,
I can answer that if you. So when I originally applied to have it through the chamber, I only applied for it through the month of till school starts, so through August.
Up to some.
But Sarah Cashman has taken over as the director, and she's doing a great job. And she feels as though she can continue it through October, which is what it normally does. So I think basically what she's requesting is the additional 2 months, which we normally do have. I had just shortened it this last time because it had gotten so slow, but she believes that she can keep it going through there. So she's just asking for the normal time back, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's excellent.
Yeah, we have the additional growing season in the fall that includes pumpkins and gourd.
Yeah. Yeah, typically it goes through October. I had shortened it, but now that she's taken the reins and it's not all on me, she has more time, so she's asking for the 2 months back.
Any further discussion? Okay. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
A second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. B, resolution 20260-721-369. It's a resolution to approve payment for fiscal year 26-27 to the West Liberty and Rural Township Fire and Rescue Agency for entire budgeted amount of $100,000. This will be a roll call vote.
we need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay, we got a motion in a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, so every year, is it gonna be 100,000, or do we, before the next fiscal year, we're gonna come back and discuss amounts or no? Or is that a set base
So
year?
that is the amount that we established by budget. I can't answer as to what the agency, it was my understanding the agency would be setting a budget and then they would send a request to see if our council could manage. And so this year we set it at 100,000. It went up, I think, a little bit because of the combination with the EMS. So once the EMS transfers, then we wouldn't be giving any more on that because that was a part of the combined budget.
It's just easier than doing monthly or quarterly.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then my understanding is that the rural trustees then would match that, it's a 50-50 match for the budget. Is that?
Yeah, so
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, clerk, you wanna go ahead and read the,
McFerren,
yes,
Parizek,
yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Shiltz.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
okay. C, resolution 20260721-370. A resolution updating contract agreement between the city of West Liberty and Geertz Inspection and Consultation Services LLC for building inspections completed in the city of West Liberty. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Is there a seconded?
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Is there any discussion?
It's just a renewal.
Yeah, it's a renewal and it's included as a 5% increase on the annual contracted wage. In addition, I had explained to Terry that we would identify goals. So I believe those are attached also with your information, so council's aware of setting goals under that contract in addition to the duties of permitting and reviewing and so.
And Terry's expertise and guidance with Eddie is going well and
Yep, they're continuing to, we're in the midst of talking about some rental inspections, and again, that's a bigger part of our priorities.
Okay. So if there isn't any more discussion, we'll go ahead and clerk, would you like to read the roll call vote?
Shiltz,
yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
McFerren.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
D, resolution 20260721-371. A resolution to accept change order number 1 from Tricon for the wastewater treatment facility improvement phase 1 project in the city of West Liberty. It's these change orders that I like.
We're not getting back what we had in addition to whole 30 days, so.
I will take this change order, which is basically a refund of some of the money. So,
Motion to approve.
we have motion, okay, and a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there any other discussion?
Do these refunds go back into our CIP budget?
Well, for right now, what they do is they go on our project tally. And so, we just won't jinx it by talking about it anymore, because what comes in, how they go out, but I'm just, yeah. So what it does is it'll keep a running total of the capital project, so credits versus debits on that.
No other discussion? We'll go ahead and clerk, would you like to read roll call vote?
Parizek,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Shiltz,
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, E, resolution 20260721-372. A resolution approving the Community Catalyst Building Remediation Grant Agreement with the Iowa Economic Development Authority for the 120 East 3rd Street project. Authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and directing the city clerk to file with executed documents.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion second. Is there any discussion?
I believe quite a bit of work went into this and I appreciate everybody's hands that were involved. So I think this is a big thing.
Okay, no other discussion. Clerk, would you like to call roll?
Martinez,
Yes.
Shiltz,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Parizek.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Line item F, resolution 20260721-373, resolution approving the administrative policy for internal financial administration records requests. Is there a motion?
Would you like me to give you some discussion on it before you go? Okay.
You need a motion to start talking about it. They can deny it, but
Oh,
we
okay.
should get into the compensation.
Is there a second?
Sorry.
Okay, motion and second, discussion.
So the administrative policy is designed for an internal process. From our departments and members of the organization internally, the administrative staff gets requests for research or requests for information pertaining to their department, and sometimes it may be a comparison of other departments. And in order to track that information and identify a timeline that allows our administrative staff to schedule a project. There are times that it may be just as simple, but then there are times that it may, take them, 4 weeks to identify what the information is needed for specific projects. It also then, from a city manager perspective, allows us to identify and oversee within the organization if we have departments that are working on projects that are within their lane, as we would like to say, if it's something that's specific to, a project that we've identified, or if there's a project that hasn't been identified. And out of respect for the administration, then it also gives them that versus just an immediate request or walking in and causing a disruption in their day. So the bigger part of it is what we're trying to say is just to create a consistent practice for everybody and a procedure about requesting that information, the purpose of the request, and then allowing the administrative staff to establish a timeline to get that information. Similar to public records requests, but this is more of an internal process in support of handling that information.
Any other discussion?
Budget information is already public record for the most part, correct?
Well,
So
it is, but what internal side of it is that, so my question is always with staff members, if you're requesting records based on public records, then you're going to follow the process of a public records request. If the information is being requested internally for organizational purposes, then that's where this administrative policy is coming in to identify. Not everybody has access or administrative rights on our software.
the
They're
software being
protected.
like Encode.
The financial software, yeah. Where all of our reports, all of our information, yes, so.
I guess when it comes to Encode, different reports can be generated through Encode, obviously for all the departments, correct? Is when it comes to the individual department heads, do they have access to a range of items, whether it be crossing into other departments, or are they solely is their access solely limited to just their own department information?
So each department by job description, so each supervisor by job description is identified as the user or be able to view their department budget that they're responsible for managing and tracking expenses. So we're able to provide that access. Outside of that, they do not have access to other departments' budgets through our financial software setup. But they, again, through a request, they can ask for that information, because you also have to identify in detail what is being requested in that report, because there are several steps, there's several boxes to mark. It's the difference between getting a 3-page report or a 25-page report. And then there's always that, do you need it in an Excel format? Or again, I mean, if you're identifying a project, then you can identify how best to create the report. The clerk could probably provide any other addition to that, but each supervisor, that administers their department budget, is responsible for tracking, but the overall responsibility falls with the city manager, and the clerk is your dual control for that protection of information or making sure nobody can get in and change anything within our financial record. I don't know if that's
Just without seeing in code yet, and I should schedule a time with the
Mhm.
clerk or you to just kind of view it, because I know you guys have really delved into it. I think about, for the reasoning for a policy such as this, I'm assuming that, from what you described,
Mhm.
I'm seeing that we need just more organization, basically, to make sure things are clear moving forward. But if a department head could have certain access to answer maybe questions that are smaller in nature without having to contact either the city manager or city clerk. I don't know if there's possibilities there that can be opened up for them. When this reads well, I kind of read it as almost as an added hoop though, as well, because there's a lot of detail, which obviously important from your reasoning you described. So I guess I'm just looking for where the creation of the policy was coming from and kind of what ran into it. If things have either been being missed, if just work has become overwhelming, if supervisors have been overlapping the thing you really shouldn't be overlapping into.
It's
For more.
one, creating a consistent procedure that if you have one supervisor that comes in and requests, maybe something that can be ran in 5 or 10 minutes and then they're provided, but then you have another one that comes in and requests information that, again, this would be information outside of what they are provided access, what they have the responsibility to oversee. So, for that reason, then if another person walks in and they request information and they're vague about the information, and then, let's say that's something that's gonna take maybe a couple of days to put together. And then you have individuals that, well, I was able to walk in and get this report. Well, I wasn't able to walk in and get that report. Again, it's out of, again, organization, consistency, but also out of respect for the administrative staff. A lot of times there's, this is also to assist with communication because there's times where individuals may go to staff underneath the clerk and request information. And then the clerk, if they're not going through the clerk, to identify that. And so therefore it's essentially going around, that supervisor. So, we just find that if we create a consistent procedure and how we're asking for the information, identifying, because again, communication is maybe we don't know that there's a grant, or maybe we don't know that there's a project that someone's working on. It's just also creating a better form of communication to identify what that information needs to be. The other thing we find is that we provide the information, but then there's confusion, or maybe they're not understanding what that information is pertaining to, or what the expense or how it's broken out. So it's also education. Before we're sending someone away with the information, we would also want to identify and see if the administrative staff needs to sit down and provide any type of education. Because again, what's happened in the past is information is provided, and then there's assumptions or misunderstandings that could occur. And then one thinks that maybe one budget's getting more than the other. But I mean, not to get into any personnel things, but again, it's an opportunity to educate, what that breakout is for, and identify if there's any questions within that. The biggest part of what we get from administrative requests are for grant writing. And again, those things can be done but it's just, you have to identify what the timeline is to complete those things. Not running administration into overtime, when's the deadline when you need it? And what are the specifics and the details of information you're looking for, so they're not researching, and pulling up additional information that they didn't need to provide, so.
I appreciate those organizational points. I think as a policy itself, that definitely be beneficial. As you say that sometimes, some staff go around other staff to get information, and I just want to make sure that if a policy is in place, that it is, respected across the board, and then that will end, and it will be kind of enforced to follow the policy itself for everybody.
Yeah, and again, I just want to be clear for the record and not getting into, personnel, but I don't believe anybody's doing it intentionally. It's just, that's the idea, like we're saying, is to organize the communication. And out of respect for each and all of us that work here, is identifying that when we're requesting information from each other, respectfully knowing that we're going through the chain of command, and also knowing that, that we're not just, I want to put this nicely, we're not just sitting there waiting for you to come and see us so we can get you information, that we have duties and we have deadlines on things. And again, a bigger part of it is organizing and make sure that we're providing the information efficiently, so those grants and things can be done timely. Not to, I have the library director here, and the clerk can say, but there are times where certain projects or certain things are occurring, and that just by providing some type of outline for that consistency and then getting that deadline, it's all about, strengthening the communication and organizing that information, and make sure that, we're directing to who can pull that information. It might not be just financial stuff. I mean, it could be, other items that fall under administration too.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, would you like to call roll call vote?
McFerren,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Shiltz.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, G, preview of the August 4th, 2026 council meeting. Is that potentially going to be a work session? Or not?
I mean, we normally have them on the second meeting of every month.
I know you were talking about.
I just thought if we did it at the second meeting of the month, that allows us to organize the information, put together a presentation, and it gives plenty of notice to the public, so if they would like to attend and listen, if we put it on the 4th, that might put it, and honestly too, then to talk to the engineers and see if we could get the report and provide it to mayor and council to review prior to the work session. So therefore, if there was some additional questions that we could, be prepared to provide them, that they could outline or identify prior to a work session.
It looks like that falls on the 18th, so just do our regular schedule, second meeting, okay.
As far as the August 4th meeting goes, I didn't have anything on my, I didn't have anything on the radar yet, so.
I don't have any large items either at this time.
Okay. Well,
I'm sure we'll have something.
yeah, and if there's any thing as far as you wanting to discuss or add to the agenda for city council members, please let city manager Geertz know. No, well, not hearing any further discussion, we'll just go to line item 9, which is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a second.
Second.
Okay, motion and second, all in favor? Opposed, passes. We are adjourned.